guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are the Bebunkings and your host here at Trinity Relationships. It's been a while, but by the grace of God, we are back. So today we are going to be sharing with you some things we've learned in marriage.
5 things we have learned.
5 years. 5 things we've learned in 5 years of marriage. By the time you'll be seeing this video, it may be a few days after our 5th wedding anniversary. And we are just grateful to God from our hearts for keeping us, for helping us, for sustaining us. Indeed, if the Lord had not been our help, where would we have been?
We would have been.
Some say 5 years is small, others say 5 years much, but all in all, we are grateful to God for growth. We are grateful to God for how far He has brought us. So if you are new to our YouTube channel, you are welcome. Sit back, relax. We have content for you, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for those who are subscribers already, thank you for watching. And our prayer is that you are transformed by these messages, you are changed by this podcast, you are encouraged by this podcast. So directly into our video. The first thing we learned in marriage is that it is more beneficial to work as a team. You know, the Bible says that 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. The Bible also says that can 2 work together unless they be agreed. And the Bible also says that every joint has to supply its needs so that the body can grow in love. So what do you want to say about this point?
Okay, I think one of the strengths of marriage and why God designed marriage is that 2 are better than 1. I mean, the aim of when the both parties in the relationship come in the relationship as a team, but not as an entity, there's a great help because everyone comes with a certain strength, everyone comes with a certain weakness, and when both come to work as a team, the partner's weakness is blend and cover up by the other partner's strength. And so there's room for them now to do what both of them individually cannot do. That's why the Bible says 1 which is 1,000 and then 2 which is 10,000. So that is exponential. That's the strength of marriage. That means both parties come together as a team, and each of them covering their weaknesses with the strength of the other, they can easily now grow. So the strength here, the idea here about working as a team is that everybody comes into the relationship table with something that they've learned, they've amassed over the years, and then now they unite with it, and then from there they can now grow, and then have an exponential growth. So that's the idea of teamwork. Teamwork is an excellent for marriage.
This point is very dear to my husband because right from year 1, he's always like, we are a team. We need to do this as a team, and subconsciously it has entered my heart. And I think as the years are going by, I'm becoming a better team player than I was at the start, because I was used to getting my things done. I feel that I will do it the way I want them done. I will do them how I want them done, and at the pace and the time I want them done. But getting into marriage, it has helped me to see that sometimes there is a time for speed, there's a time for slowness, there is a time for an extreme quality, there's a time for compromising, and all that has been possible because we are working together as a team. But the output has been exceptional and great results.
So my encouragement for you is that seek with your partner to work as a team. It's better to work as a team. You are more protected. You have better results when you work as a team, not as an entity. So that's the goal of this, what we learned from this point.
Okay. The second point is that anything can cause disagreement, but the way it is handled determines the ensuing quality of the marriage. So you know that some people who say in marriage, you should not disagree, but we beg to differ because we are 2 different people, 2 different backgrounds, 2 individuals who have come together into a marriage, different perceptions, different minds, different mindsets. But in marriage, we are learning to be united. We have become one in marriage, and so for us to truly become one, there's some things that have to be shaped. There's some things that have to be, how can I put it, modified.
Andrew Marx says that if the couple must work together, there must be adjustment. Yes. Both parties must adjust.
Yes. And for these adjustments to come into place, there will be things that will cause disagreement. And these things will be as little as where to press your toothpaste from, where to buy a particular thing. Anything can cause disagreement. And we can see that in the life of the apostles when they began to grow.
Acts 6.
Yes, okay, in Acts chapter 6. You see that even when the apostles began to grow, something as little as the sharing of food and neglecting a certain part of the believers, it caused a lot of conflict.
A lot of tension.
Let me just leave it to the man of God in the house.
So when you read the story of the Acts chapter 6, what amazes me is that the Bible talks about some widows were neglected in the daily distribution of food. But the effect of that was it created a lot of tension in the church, in the early church, and many people were discontented, they were not happy. But now what makes all of us in our relationship will have that point where you and your partner are not comfortable about something, you both disagree about something, or something is because what I've learned in that area, that you cannot really say where the problem is going to come from, but certainly it would come. But now the way both of you handle it would define the quality of the marriage. Yeah. It will set you guys on a different phase if both of you handle it properly, like we see with the case of the problem in the Acts chapter 6. So the disciples sought to solve this problem in the right way. They called themselves and they had a meeting, and what they came out as a solution was appoint people to do that. And what the Bible gives as the result of this is what is mind-blowing. The Bible said that the church greatly increased. So because they were able to solve this problem rightly, there was a great increase in the number of the disciples. And the Bible precise that many of them became faithful to the faith.
Wow.
Like something as little as addressing the need for food increased the attendance of the early church and also made many people to become faithful to church. So if both of you seek to solve the little agreement, the little issues you're having, you don't know, you cannot really say how much you will go to help your marriage and how your partner may view that point. So it's important for you to seek to solve the little agreements the right way. Meet together and have a discussion about it. Don't neglect even the little things that your partner is talking about. Or, as my wife said, where to press the toothpaste.
Okay. Yes. And talking about this point, he mentioned the apostles had a meeting. It brings us to our third point. Communication is key in every marriage. Personally, I was the type that if I feel that demanding something from my husband makes him go out of his way, I'll prefer to die in silence. And then now when he doesn't do what I was thinking or expecting that he's going to do, I'm going to get angry. Women, may God help us. So you sit and you assume in your mind that he should know that I need this. He should know that maybe what he said was hurtful to me. He should assume that I need help maybe with doing one thing or the other. But what I've realized is that you should just say it.
Yeah,
now, even when our anniversary is coming, when my birthday is coming, when something is coming, I've found it easier to just say that, hey, babe, see, I need help with this thing. Or, babe, for my anniversary, get me this, and this.
Simple.
Like for this wedding anniversary, it's we understood this. Like, what do you want for your for the 5th anniversary? And I'd also been telling him before that I needed this, and he gave them to me. So what do you want to say about this, babe?
About this point of communication, you see, if you look at the issue, the Jerusalem Council, there was rumors being spread about what Paul was doing, looking different from what the 12 apostles have been doing, and people communicated that message wrongly. So there was now a tension in the way they were perceiving things. But what they started was to sit down and call a meeting, and then they both discussed and were asking Paul his perspective and the message Paul was preaching. And then Paul told them what he was preaching and what God had laid in his heart. And the disciples now understood that Paul had been given a different message from them and has been asked to address a different group from what the 12 have been asked to agree. And so by that, they were able to understand what the other was saying and what God had assigned each of them. So when you bring that to the marriage context, because we are different, because we are from different background, because we have different inclination, we have different gifting, when you bring that together, there will be that friction from one, the perspective point of view, one, the cultural, the background, that will make people differ in the way people see things. Your likes will be different, but each time people sit down to discuss these differences or discuss your perception about a particular issue, your partner gets to understand from which angle you're coming from. And so a partner gets to understand the things that actually matters to you. Because for me, I've gone over, before I met my wife, I've gone 20 something plus years seeing things in a particular way. And I don't understand why she should see the way she's seeing, because I don't really understand it. But when we come and we try to discuss about this aspect, we can now understand from what perspective the other is coming from and what they like, and not necessarily assume that, okay, they are supposed to do A or B. But now each time we have that conversation, we discuss, we communicate what we see and how we see it, then we now have a better perspective on how to approach the different problems we're having.
Oh, okay. So it brings us to the next point. Accept help from others in your marriage. It's true that when you get married, you need to really watch out about the influence.
Yes, the external influence you may have.
The external influence. You have to really watch out for external influence. But now, you cannot be isolated in your marriage. There are always people.
You're not an island.
Yes, there are always people who are who God is going to send at some time point in your marriage, who are going to bring the help you need. It may be help spiritually, it may be help in working around the house, maybe help even with your kids, maybe help financially, maybe help in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
And in our case, me, for example, my in-laws have been of great help to
our
us.
In-laws.
I'm talking about my in-laws. You talk about your in-laws.
Okay.
I have my own in-laws.
Okay, I get your point.
My in-laws have been of great help to me. I've had, my sisters-in-law have become my sisters. I even live with one of my sisters-in-law. She has been a great blessing and a great help to us. At least you have someone in the house you can discuss with. You can talk about things that are going on with. Then I have my mother-in-law. Oh, God bless her. My mother-in-law has been so warm. You know those narratives now. Our mothers-in-law, like before you want to enter in the marriage, will be like, "Hey, father, may my mother-in-law die. May God deliver you from that kind of prayer." But my mother-in-law has been so sweet. She has been so helpful. Like she sits to listen to you. Like we gist together. Like we actually talk together. Like she has been more of a mother and a friend to me all these years. Then we have my father-in-law. The way he loves me, like I'm one of his daughters. Like I feel that my in-laws have accepted me with their whole heart. And at every time point that we need help, in whatever way you can think of help, they've been available and they've been there.
Yeah, at this point, it just goes to remind me. I remember I'd once handed a book to somebody about marriage, and I thought the person needed that book, and the person made a comment that everybody has a problem. And it was very surprising to me that I knew that book would go a long way to help that person address that problem, but the person was, not willing to accept. So what I've learned is that just like your personal life, that God brings people along your way to actually help you in an aspect. When you're married, it doesn't exclude that you're still a believer, you're still somebody that needs help. But now as a couple, God is going to bring and show up different people at different phases in your marriage to help you. They may be knowledge in terms of books, there may be guidance, as my wife has just listed many other aspects. But one thing that will help you is if you are able to identify them and accept them. Because when I see the way, I really did not, when I was getting married, I really did not really think that maybe your in-laws really had much to help you like I see now. But I've seen that you need help. We need a lot of help. And God is going to bring those help your way. But you should be very keen to be able to identify that God has sent A and B to help you out. So it's key to accept the help that God sent your way.
And sometimes the help too goes beyond your family members. For us, we had our counselors. Once we got into this relationship,
the Team Zometia.
Yes, Team Zometia, Avila School of Marriage. You can check out their YouTube channel. They've been of great help to us at every step during courtship, during the early years in marriage, and even now. They've been a great support system to us. We have our friends, we have the church, we have the church family. Like the help comes from every direction, every
source.
Yes. And our last point: unless the Lord builds, the builders build in vain. You know, for those who have been watching a lot of Christian videos about marriage, you see there's that marriage triangle they talk about. They say the man is here, the woman is here, and as each of them are growing towards Christ, you see that the distance between them is narrowed down.
Yes, reduces.
Yes. So as every member of the marriage is looking at Christ, is getting better in Christ, that's how the marriage too is being enhanced, is being built, is being watched over by the Lord, because the two people who are involved are people who have allowed themselves to be built by Christ, are people who have allowed themselves to be watched over by Christ.
So we got to this point. There are two verses that I want to just highlight with you. It says, unless the Lord builds the house, the labor that built it in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman lay awake in vain. It gives two scenarios here. One, for you, growth. And then the second one is protection or security. One thing that in marriage that you want to do is that you want to grow and you want to keep your marriage and your family secure.
Yeah.
And these verses highlight that you can only do these two things if the Lord is actually the one that does it before you. One thing that I've learned over the years of marriage is that the point we have given you will only work, all those 5 points we have given you only work best if this last point, it's the foundation of your home, if the Lord is the foundation of your home. Because if the Lord is the foundation of your home, your perception will be different. Your desire to agree as a team will be different. Because if the Lord is not a foundation, it will be difficult for both of you to actually come together to agree on a single point too. People may disagree on every aspect, but you people may not be able to agree together. But when the Lord is the foundation, when the Lord is a builder, when the Lord is the watchman over your home, over your marriage, it's easier for your marriage to incline itself, or both people of you to incline yourself to the right direction, seek help, actually communicate the true nature of communication, actually to seek help, to work as a team, because God is the one that potentiates, helps you people. Because the need for marriage is it comes from diverse sources, and you cannot really pinpoint at what point exactly what you need. But when the Lord is actually the author of it, the foundation of it, He Himself makes sure He adjusts or orchestrates all that to work together. So I will encourage you, do make sure the Lord is the Lord of your home. Do make sure the Lord is a builder. Do make sure He is the watchman over your marriage. And you're going to have an amazing marriage. That's what I've learned. There are many books you can read, but you can read them and understand them differently. There are many seminars, there are many marriages you can go, many marriage counseling you can go, but still yet you may not abound too much because the actual thing, which is the foundation, is missing. So make sure you keep the foundation, which is the Lord, and I believe you're going to have an amazing marriage. That's what we have learned over these 5 years.
Wow. So we've come to the end of the 5 points in marriage. We are encouraging you, if you've been having negative testimonies about marriage, if your home even that you grew up in was not a good testimony, if the stories you are hearing are not good ones, we are here to tell you that so far as the Lord is the builder, your marriage can be beautiful. Your marriage can be the one you've dreamt of.
Even beyond.
Beyond, yeah. Because the Bible says that he's going to do exceedingly abundantly above that which you can think or even imagine. And even in marriage, this verse holds true.
Because for me, what I've realized is that marriage is a lot easier than I thought, a lot easier than I imagined, because both of us have decided to work with the Lord in this issue. It's easier. I mean, the benefit that I can say that marriage brings is usually something that is beyond me. What I didn't. There are many things we have now in our marriage that we didn't plan. We didn't even know that marriage could bring us that, because we have decided to walk with the Lord. And when you walk with Him, it's easier. The Bible says when you decide to take His burden, it's actually a burden, but lighter than what you can imagine. So that's why I want to just encourage you to walk with Him, because with Him, everything is easier. And the Bible says when we love the Lord, He says this: all things work together for good, and then precise for they that love Him and work according to His purpose. Everything, including your marriage.
So we've come to the end. We hope you are blessed. We hope your mind has been changed. We hope you have had something that you can run with in your own marriage, and we hope that you've been encouraged to work out your marriage in the ways of the Lord. So until next time, see ya.
Ciao, ciao.